welcome and thank you for being here. I'm going to be sharing my training and methodology on how to earn 10K in the next 30 days. And this, guys, is exactly what I teach within my program and what I've helped my clients with as well. And so I'm not here to just share fluff. But obviously, there's only so much I can share in an hour. So I'll cover what I feel is important, not just 10,000, but like 50 and even $100,000 months. It doesn't change, right? The methodology and the system doesn't change. Before I go any further, let me super quickly introduce myself for a few of you who are new to my world. My name is Anne Ryan. I'm a business mentor and a mindset coach. And I help my clients to improve as well as create and sell high-ticket offers and how to package and position their offers as well so they can earn more. I'm very much about working less as well, about creating systems. And today we're going to be talking a lot about systems as well and about keeping business super simple, right? Whilst having the biggest possible impact that we can have. Having a method or a system that you can follow removes leaving things up to chance, right? And hoping that you'll make money. So it's a lot more intentional. And the systems just give us security and certainty, right? It gives us peace of mind that if we're taking particular actions, it is likely to result in certain outcomes, right? No matter how much we love being free spirits and, waking up and deciding how we feel. And I'm all for that, by the way, because I am a free spirit myself. I don't particularly like a lot of structure. But if you want to manage your time and if you want to be effective in your business in the least amount of time whilst having the most amount of impact, this is the key. This is super important, right? Because there are only a few things that we need to do in a day, but we get caught up with so many other things like busy work that is so unnecessary and doesn't actually move the needle forward. And we focus on the wrong things, which can be the reason why we end up not actually consistently achieving our goals, right? And also in business, it's important to kind of focus on the profitability side as well, right? And not just on the turnover or the revenue, because it's so easy. We can go out there and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on advertising. Again, that's not what I'm talking about today. This is all about organic. But that is another way. That is another way to manage our time, that we don't have to do it all ourselves. We can get a huge team in place. We can throw a lot of money into Facebook ads or other sort of promotions. So then we can get in front of more people and we can do this same thing and achieve this same result, except it impacts our bottom line, right? Because we're going to have a whole lot more expenses in order to achieve the 10K, 20K, 50K, 100K month. Would you spend $750,000 to have $1 million business, right? Because that is what people do, right? There are people out there who have $1 million businesses, but they're actually spending $750,000 to make $1 million, right? Hey, $250,000 a year in your bank is not a bad outcome, right? I don't think any of us will turn that down, but there are so many different ways to grow your business. And everything I'm going to talk about today is about organic and getting to even 50, 100K months without having a team at all. The first thing I would suggest if we're looking at a 30-day window is you need to pick a date in the 4th week of your 30-day window and designate that date, that time, to deliver an incredibly powerful and valuable training. And this is when you're going to promote your offer. This is when you are going to take your audience that's cool or warmish maybe into potentially being hot prospects, right? Because you're going to deliver so much value. And this can be done in one day, in like a masterclass, webinar style thing, or it can be done over 3 to 5 days where you give them a little mini shift, right? You're taking them on an experience and you teach them something, a small aspect of what it is that you sell in your offer. And essentially, it's in that week that you demonstrate to them what value you can bring to their business. Or, it depends what it is that you guys do, right? I'd love to know, by the way, are you business coaches, relationship coaches, life coaches? What is it that you're doing? Working backwards from that date, right? And that can be, like I said, it can be a 1 day thing, or it can be a 3 day thing, or it can be a 5 day thing, whatever it is. It can be a challenge. It can be a workshop style, whatever it is. You schedule that in for about, the 4th week of your 30-day window. And in your first week, working backwards from that, your focus is on deciding exactly what it is that you're going to be training, exactly what it is that you're going to be offering outside of that training. And it doesn't have to be high tech, right? But if you want, you can create yourself a little landing page so that people can sign up for that training. The benefit of having a landing page or something like that is you can send out reminders, right? You can send out reminders that it's coming, you're collecting email addresses, or you can even just create a little pop-up Facebook group, or you can deliver it in your own Facebook group if you already have one. In the 2 weeks prior, in week 2 and week 3, that is when you are going to be focusing hugely on lead generation, right? You start generating leads and also nurturing them at the same time, just connecting with people, right? You can do that through your personal profile. You can do that through content that you share. If you have an email list, you might be sending out an email to them. In the first week, you really prepare for what's going to happen in the 4th week, right? You really think about exactly what your training is going to be about, what you're going to be offering at the end of the training, and maybe creating a landing page. Like I said, the tech is not essential. It's just nice to do. Don't waste too much time on that. It won't make or break your launch, right? But it is kind of helpful for sending reminders and whatever. That's essentially it. And then week 2 and week 3 is lead generation, and week 4 is when you will deliver the training and then invite people to have conversations with you, to work with you. Launching can be done with a super small list or a small audience, right? If you already have an email list, I would suggest that you would send emails to that list, right? If you have a small audience, I would look at ways to build that audience. Build that audience with your ideal people. And when it comes to that training that you deliver at the end, this is where a little bit of testing can be really effective. Is, try a 1-day masterclass, and then the next time you can launch every single month, by the way, or you can launch once a quarter. It's essentially entirely up to you how you want to grow your business, how much you want to keep the structure and rinse and repeat, because that's where you master these skills as well, right? The mastery comes from doing the same thing again and again and again. The mastery does not come, ladies, from doing something once and going, oh, that didn't work, so I'm going to try something completely different. That is what often happens in new businesses. People, they try something, it doesn't work, and they throw the baby out with the bathwater and they go, oh, well, I have to find a whole different thing. And this is when shiny object kicks in and we start looking elsewhere and looking for other things. Launching works. Weekly Facebook Lives also work. It doesn't matter what your strategy is. It's about picking one and going all in and tweaking and improving, rinsing and repeating. That's how you get better and better and better and better. And if you only have one offer, don't be afraid to keep making the same offer over and over and over and over and over again. Here's the thing. People value what they pay for. When we price something too low, people won't see the value in it. If people don't have skin in the game, they don't show up for their investment. And what ends up happening is it ends up being a lose, lose, lose all around. Your offer is underpriced. People will look at the underpriced offer and they'll think, I'm not sure I'm going to get much for that. And people who do think, oh, that sounds like a really good deal, I'm going to go for it, are not going to get the results because they're not going to feel the pain. They're not going to show up 100% for their investment. And this is, I'm broadly generalizing this, by the way, because there are exceptions to the rule. There are people who will absolutely value something, and will feel the stretch at that 1,000, 1,500 mark. Price point that I recommend for around that high ticket, and this is not just about putting a price point on something that's not worth it, but it's about creating an offer that's worth that price point, is minimum 3,000. Yeah. Ideally around the 5,000. People need to feel that stretch. They need to feel that fear. They need to feel like, oh my gosh. Yeah, because if they don't feel it, they won't show up for it. People don't go to a coach for nothing. They go to a coach because they want something that they don't have. So what is that worth? To attract premium clients, you have to put a premium offer in front of them. Yeah, you can't attract premium clients with a low ticket offer. So it's just food for thought, ladies. It's something for you to consider. I recommend that, that 3,000 to 5,000, you've got to energetically stand behind your pricing as well, right? And so it's doing that mindset work. It's doing that inner work as well to step into that pricing. That's required as well, right? And then, even if you really feel like, okay, 1,500 is my price, make 2 sales at that price point and then increase it. For as long as you undervalue yourself, people will also undervalue you. Just some mindset stuff and some food for thought, right? So let's just say you can generate 5 quality leads a day, right? 5. That's not a lot, right? And if you don't know how to generate 5 quality leads a day, it's as simple as finding 5 people that you can connect with, 5 people that you can send a friend request to on social media, 5 people that you can have a messenger conversation with, 5, just 5, right? It's not hard. It's not hard to go into other groups or other places and just find 5 people who seem to be your target market, who are interested in what you might have to offer, right? You can often go to friends and say, hey, do you know anyone, right? There are so many different ways. But if you can focus on I'm specifically looking at this 30-day launch period, right? Generating 5 leads a day, right? And you do that for 10 days. So I'm just talking about a 2-week window, because your first week, you're going to be focusing on the training and the offer and all those things. The second and the third week, you're going to be just focusing on lead generation. Yeah. If you can bring 5 people a day, assuming you only work 5 days of the week, then you have got 50 leads. 5 times 5 times 2, 50 leads. Yeah. So let's just say your offer is valued at, I'm just going to take a midpoint based on some of those numbers that I saw. Let's just say your offer is valued at 2,500, right? Which is at the sort of lower end of high ticket. Then you need 4 sales. Yeah. So you'll need to convert 1 in about 12 people. But if your offer was 5,000, you'd just need 2 sales, right? So you'd only need to convert 1 in 25 people, right? Either way, the point that I'm making is with high ticket, you don't need a big audience. You don't need huge numbers, right? But you've got to take that in, be intentional about what it is you're doing and take action accordingly. Leaving things to hope and chance is never going to give us predictable results. It's okay. Like some days you'll find you generate 10 leads, whereas other days you'll find you might only get 2. But as long as you're kind of being intentional about this, then it becomes a numbers game. It really does become a numbers game. Industry standards are people convert 1 in 5. I think that's low, but that's the benchmark to improve from, right? And I will guarantee if you have 5 sales conversations, there's a very high likelihood, as long as you kind of have a reasonable concept of how to sell, that you can sell 1 in 5. Yeah. And then you improve from that. And if you can get to 2 in 5 or 3 in 5, you need even less people in your audience, right? Because not every one of those 50 people are going to be a perfect match. Not every one of those 50 people are going to really connect and engage with you and have conversations with you. Yeah. So they're the things that it's hard for me to predict in your business. But when you do this over and over and over again, you will start knowing your numbers and you will start recognizing exactly what you need to do. Yeah. And a lot of what I teach is 95% of what I teach is organic and attraction marketing, right? Where we just put things out there and then people come to us. But if you can just do, and 5% of what I teach is more proactive outreach type work, yeah, which not everyone loves. I'm the first to admit, not everyone loves that. But, if you really want to achieve your goal, then that's what sometimes we need to do, right? We need to follow up with people. It's been like when I first started online, the statistics were that people needed around 12 touch points before they can become a client, right? On average. So what that would mean is some people will become a client after 1 or 2 touch points, and some people need 24 touch points, right? So it becomes an average of 12. Now, the latest numbers that I'm hearing is people need 36 touch points on average. And having been in business now for 4 years, I can kind of see that. There are many beautiful women in my world who show up to everything that I do. Everything, all my free trainings, they say yes to everything, and I love them. They're really important to have in our world because they are often our biggest fans, but they may never become a client. But they're still really important to have in our world because they're out there and they are recommending us, even though they're not client. They're speaking well about us. They're like, and there's room in our world for all these people, right? And then there's a percentage of people who, like, someone will see a 30-minute Facebook Live that I do I always have a call to action, reach out, send me a message or drop a particular word and I'll reach out to you and essentially we'll connect and I'll sign up. Yeah. So it happens. There are people who will purchase on that first call, and there are some people who need multiple touch points. You'll start understanding this for yourselves, right? The more and more we do it. So does generating 5 leads a day sound hard? Or does it sound like it's doable? Does closing 2 sales out of 50 sound doable? Because these are not just random people that are in our Facebook groups or who are in our world, right? In our friends list or whatever. I'm talking about people who now we're building know, like, and trust with, and we're bringing them into our inner circle and we're bringing them into this launch and we're nurturing them and connecting with them and delivering incredible value to them and then inviting them to potentially work with us. The reason may not have happened yet is because the intentionality may be missing or the mindset might be, limiting you, or you haven't kind of worked out how to convert those people or something else, right? Business is simple, right? It comes down to having it can be simple. It comes down to having one incredible offer. If your offer is not incredible, keep working on making that offer incredible. I don't mean don't sell it. I mean, make it incredible after you've got clients, right? Don't perfect this offer before you've got clients because you don't even know what those clients need. Create an offer. In fact, some of my clients don't even create their offer up front. They have a concept, they have an idea of what it is that they want to do. They put it out to market, they sign up clients, then they create the offer. They create the offer in real time as they're delivering it. You perfect it, you improve it, right? That is ongoing, yeah? Pick a price that is a stretch for people, but also that is a no-brainer when it comes to the transformation or the outcome that it is that you're delivering. Make it irresistible, but don't make it so cheap that you're undervaluing yourself. Don't make it so cheap that people are not going to show up for that investment. Don't make it so cheap that people will kind of go, she's real deal, or, should I go to somebody else who's charging more? Another thing that I've shared in another training a long time ago, people were given exactly the same 3 bottles of wine, right? Exactly the same 3 bottles of wine, except they had 3 different labels. It was exactly the same, right? 3 different labels, 3 different price points. Everyone said that the most expensive one was the best. It was exactly the same wine, right? This is not my concept, by the way. I am not coming up with this. This has been done. This has been proven. This is out there in the market. People perceive something of a higher price to be of a higher value. But I always preface this by saying you can't just put a high price on something that's no good, right? But I believe we're all women of integrity here. And so as long as we are here to serve our clients and really make a difference and really help them to get the result that we're promising them, then yeah, a high price. The third thing is to share content and nurture these people, your leads, right? Generate leads, share content, nurture them. Yeah. That doesn't look like spamming. I don't believe anyone here would be spamming, but you know what I'm saying? That doesn't look like spamming. That looks like genuine, sharing value, engaging in conversations, and marketing, right? That's marketing. That's the marketing piece, right? So you've got the offer, you've got the price point, you've got the marketing piece, and then you've got the sales conversation. Sales is a skill that has to be mastered. It doesn't matter whether your price point is $47, $497, or $4,997. If you don't know how to sell, you won't sell it. If people don't see the value, they won't buy it. Yeah. And people see the value because of how you sell. Right? So that's the sales thing, right? And we need to master that. And we don't stop mastering that till we're converting. My goal is 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5 people, 60% conversion is a really good goal to have. And you keep honing in those skills and mastering those skills till you improve. And the 5th point, so it's 5 things, right? The 5th thing is delivery. There is no better marketing for your business than your clients getting the transformation or the results that you've promised. Get good at delivering. And this does not mean more certifications and, getting more tools, right? This means really delivering on what you promised to your clients, right? And that comes with experience, it comes with time. And if you do that, that's when your business takes off. Because those testimonials, that social proof, there's no better social proof. When I'm able to share client results, like you've seen them in my Facebook group, on my personal profile, and I'll share them again. Clients like Zami, who in 6 weeks was able to quit her 9 to 5, doubled her return on investment, doubled her pricing, and she shares a testimonial. Haley, who was selling coaching by the hour and she was one of those people who didn't even create her offer. She pre-sold her offer, $25,000 in her first month, $62,500 in her second month, $100,000 in her third month, just following my system. What I've just shared, that's what she did. Of course, my clients get the extra support, right? And the feedback and the help and the sales conversations and the role plays and all those things, but I can't possibly give all of that in a free training, right? But that's what she did. Some of these clients were making some money before and some of them weren't. Riley had been stuck at around the 10,000 mark for a long time, and she's now consistently making $30,000 months. Tanya was the same. She was selling low ticket at around the $500 mark. Within her first week, we got her to $5,500. We created the offer. She did it all. I'm not doing it, right? But I gave her that belief and conviction in her offer and helped her to package it up and put it out to the market. And in her first week, she made $5,500 and $30,000 in her first month. And she said to me, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right because I haven't kind of had to hustle as much, right? Because she was so used to having to hustle, and it can be that simple, right? And so what I'm talking about is mastery. What I'm talking about is rinse and repeating. Find what works for you and then keep improving on that. You may not want to launch every 30 days, like I said. You may prefer to do it every 6 weeks or once a quarter. But the rinse and repeating is where the mastery happens, right? Either way, you use the time in between to really build momentum and keep building your audience, keep generating leads, keep nurturing them, keep connecting with them, and keep inviting them to have conversations with you. Connection, that connection is the most important thing when it comes to high ticket sales. Yeah, because people buy from you. They're not buying coaching. They're buying the coach. It's you. It's me, right? It's us that people are investing in. It's not just coaching. And how we can build trust and how they can get to know us better and get to like us and actually end up investing with us is by building that connection, right? And that connection can happen super quickly. Like I said, it can be 30 minutes, a 30-minute Facebook Live, and they feel the energy, they feel the connection, they get on a conversation and they're sold. Sometimes it can take longer, right? So when it comes to launches, sometimes with a very, very cold audience, that 5-day launch can be hugely effective, because over a 5-day period, you can take someone from cold to sold. You know, sometimes when someone is completely new to your world and doesn't know you yet, that one training, no matter how incredible it is, may not quite be enough. Yeah. And so even with them, right, even with launches, and this happens with my clients too, even if you don't get as incredible a result immediately, often it can come within 14 days of the launch. Yeah, because of the follow-up, because of the conversations that continue. Business can be super laid back and easy if we allow it to be, right? It's just to sort of finalize this, is entirely achievable, right? Working less than 4 hours a day. I say less than 4 hours a day because I can do it in a couple, but I know I'm a little bit more, I've sort of been doing it for a little bit longer, so I can do it in a shorter period of time, in a couple of hours a day. It's possible to do it typically in under 4 hours a day. It's as simple as opening up a Facebook group if you don't already have one. If you have one and it's a big Facebook group that's a little bit disengaged and a little bit inactive, I can help you get that group active. But if you want to go fast and hard in the next 4 weeks, I would just open like a pop-up Facebook group just for this launch, right? And you can really then create a lot of energy inside of this pop-up group just for that 4-week, that 4-week launch period. Generate the leads, invite them directly into the group. You can completely bypass the landing pages and the sign-up requirements and all of that if you want to avoid the tech, right? That's kind of a little handy extra thing that's helpful for you to also build up your email list, but it's not essential, right? I want to kind of remove as many of the barriers and the concerns that people have. So keep it simple. Warm up your leads, right? As you're bringing people in, warm them up, connect with them, ask questions, put out polls. What do they need help with? How can you help them? Just shower them with value and with just service, right? I'm not afraid to give a lot because I know there's so much more. I'm a big fan of like really leading with value, and then, delivering a training where they get a small shift, they get a mini outcome, right? So we can't obviously give them everything in a short training, right? But they get that mini shift, they get that mini outcome, follow up, lots of follow up, book them into conversations. This is all done organically without needing to spend a cent on ads. The smallest group. I did this in a pop-up group with 32 people and made $23,000. You don't need a huge audience. Yeah. And as you commit to this and continue to doing this, you'll review, you'll improve, you'll repeat. It's just small tweaks to keep you've got to reflect on what happened and like what went really well and what could have been better, right? And that's how you achieve mastery. And like I said, not all my clients are launching all the time, right? It doesn't suit everyone, but this is one tried and tested strategy that works really, really well. One thing I would say is focus on what it is your clients want, not so much on what it is that they need, right? So what I mean by that is often I know in the early stages of business, which is essentially, my target market, they're usually in the first couple of years of business. I know it's mindset, right? Often that's holding them back. But I very much lead with strategy because that is what everybody wants. They need mindset, but they want strategy. I'm focusing on the strategy to achieve 10K in 30 days, because if I just focused on mindset, I will guarantee you will all walk away from here. You won't be as impressed. But obviously my clients, we do a lot of the mindset work. But give your leads what they want. Our ego, right? Our ego, and I am going to wrap this up. Our ego is the voices in our head. Our ego is the monkey brain, right? Our ego is, I've had a coach in the past, I won't name her, but you may know who I mean, who calls the ego Mrs. Stupid, right? Our ego will always want to keep us safe. It'll always want to keep us in our comfort zone, right? So we need to bypass that and really kind of think about what is it that our clients want? What is it that our ideal dream clients want from us? And lead with that in your marketing, right? We don't need to sell all the modalities that we know and all the things that we can do and all of that, because none of that means anything to our clients. So what I mean by that is, if you're a Reiki master, don't lead with Reiki. Lead with what is the result that the Reiki will deliver? What is the outcome that your clients will experience once they've done the Reiki work with you? It's not about the Reiki. It's about the outcome. It's about the result. And if your current offer isn't selling, then it's likely your messaging. This is the piece that I'm talking about now. What is it that your clients want? That's the piece, that's the messaging piece that needs to change. And the more specific you can be, the more tangible the result can be. And like I was saying, even in the life coaching space, you can make the intangible tangible. It is possible, right? It just takes a bit more thinking. But that messaging part is really, really important. Having a simple structure and a simple system to follow is kind of the solution that I needed to be able to do it all, right? To avoid burnout. And in the end, it also avoids a lot of disappointment, because there's so many shiny objects out there, and it's so easy to kind of just jump from one thing to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. There's Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest and LinkedIn and TikTok. The one thing that I'm really proud of myself that I've been able to do is just stay in my zone of genius in Facebook. Facebook continues to change all the time. So learning more and more about how to leverage Facebook has been what has helped me to continue to grow and advance. Not going, Oh, well, Facebook doesn't work, so I'm going to jump onto Instagram. Oh, well, Instagram doesn't work, so I'm going to look at LinkedIn. Oh, well, LinkedIn. Oh, I'm hearing Pinterest is the next best place for all coaches to go, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump on Pinterest. What tends to happen when we do that? And by the way, there will come a point in time when you do have to expand, right? Because Facebook or one platform will limit you. You can build $1 million business on Facebook. You can reach 100K months on Facebook. And I'm just using Facebook as an example. I'm just talking like one platform. The more you hone in, the more you stay in your lane, the more specialized you get, the more specific you get. This might feel boring, by the way, sometimes, because it's like you love variety, but variety often leads to busy work. Variety often leads to a scattered focus, and then that has an impact on results. Most people I speak to feel like they're typically hustling for the amount of hours, because I mean, like, most of us have given up some sort of a corporate career, or there was some reason for us to, give up what we were doing before, and we came online, or we started coaching because we had this calling. And we all have a desire for freedom, and we all have a desire for impact, and so many things. And yet in the coaching industry, I think about 11% is the statistic that I've heard actually earn a full-time income, and about 2% earn an incredibly lucrative income, a million plus per year. And 89% are hustling. They're struggling. They're working more than they did. They're working more than 40 hours. They're working more than they did in their corporate world. And, they're not necessarily having the impact or the income that they desire, right? So the freedom's just not there. But, And like I said, this was an accidental thing that it's become a bit of a niche thing for me, because it was a necessity. It was a necessity for my life. I am going to invite any of you who've been watching this to reach out. If you have my email, send me an email. If you know me on Messenger, drop me a message and let me know if you'd like to explore what it might look like to get my support, to work with you. I actually don't sell. And this is something about selling, right? It's about not having to convince anyone, right? Selling should be about asking the right questions to determine if what it is the client wants and what it is I have to offer or you have to offer is a perfect match. And if it is, the client sells themselves. We should not have to actually sell, right? So the reason I say 3 out of 5 is a really good goal is because 2 out of 5 just won't be a good fit. And even the 3 out of 5, you'd have some sort of questionnaire or conversation with them first to qualify them, to make sure that, so the 5 people you get on a call with have to be pre-qualified, right? Because otherwise you'll be wasting your time talking to a ton of people that won't be a good fit. They have to be pre-qualified to some extent, just a little bit of a chit chat to see if what we have to offer and what they're looking for is a good fit. And then on the conversation, 3 out of 5 is a more realistic goal, because 2 out of 5, just for whatever reason, won't be the right fit. That's been what I've found. And if you try and convert 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5, you end up with a business that has a lot more refunds, which I don't. I know that for a fact. All those bro marketing blokey blokes out there who really do the hard selling, they deal with a whole lot of refunds, because I've learned from them as well. Because it's good to learn from different people so you can pick the things that you like and leave out what doesn't work. So reach out, gorgeous ladies, if you want to connect with me, find out more about how I might be able to support you. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you for being here. And if you have any questions, even after this, once you've processed some of this, let me know. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. I appreciate you all. And I'll hopefully hear from some of you. All right. Bye, guys. See you. Bye.